Big shout out to today's video sponsor, Linsoul. Check out their fantastic deals in the links in the video description. The Fiio FF1 are some of the strangest yet oddly satisfying IEMs that I've ever tried, but they have one big flaw. Let's talk about that. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas and a big thanks to Fiio for sending this pair out for review. I really appreciate it and their links will be in the video description, so check those out if you want to. Fiio isn't seeing this video before you or getting any editorial input. As you probably guessed by now, the FF1 is an old school traditional style of earphone with a fixed shell that doesn't conform to your ear like the tip of a traditional IEM would. This has the advantage of being easy to clean, but also comes at the cost of comfort, which we'll get onto a little bit later. These are a substantial 14.2mm dynamic driver that delivers a pretty balanced sound. This is housed in a plastic shell with perforations around the back, which makes them an open back pair kind of. Combined with this pretty loose fit, you get something that really lets a lot of the natural real world in. Totally unsuited to a loud, busy environment, but if you need something with more spatial awareness, such as in an office or when out and about, these work great for that. As a result of this open design, you get a lot of audio bleed. This means that essentially whatever you're listening to, other people are going to be hearing as well. So not great for personal calls, or maybe check you're not listening to your guilty pleasure, or you'll be in for a few embarrassing looks. Despite the old school shell, these have a detachable 2-pin cable. Now this is a recessed design, so it's not great for compatibility reasons. So finding one that will fit will probably be quite tricky, especially without the ear hook, but it is nice that Fiio lets you have this option at the very least. You don't get a case or anything fancy at £25, not that you would expect it, and though there are sets out there that offer a case, the Moondrop Chew too, however, for example, you get an inline microphone with these, which you don't with those. And a lot of people looking at this segment of IEMs are looking for a microphone, so that's useful to have.
Alright lads, forgive the haircut and the vest. It's like 20 odd degrees, 27 degrees in here. This is the mic on the Fiio FF1. At first I couldn't get it working on the Pixel, I had to switch a setting on. It's connected via the included 3.5mm to USB-C adapter with the Fiio included adapter. Here's the mic. This is probably going to sound absolutely awful. Can't wait for all the memes of this. But there you go in its standard sort of position. If you can hear a particular amount of hiss, probably my laptop working overtime. Yeah, that's what the mic sounds like on the Fiio FF1.
It's a 3.5mm connector with a tight braid up until the stereo split, where it becomes sort of a grippy rubber texture. It's an okay cable, it gets bonus points for having a mic, but it won't be winning any design awards. It's very light, it's very supple, it's a decent cable, but not amazing. That said, you do get a USB-C to 3.5mm dongle in the box, which I definitely wasn't expecting at this price point, and I'll be chucking a few more bonus points in for this as well. What a great inclusion. I tried the Fiio FF1 in a few different sources, namely my Fiio K5 Pro, my iFi Zendac V2, the included adapter of course in the box, wanted to make sure that was alright, and my MacBook Pro's output, just its standard 3.5mm port, and I found that these were less sensitive than I imagined, but then again that's probably due to the fact that the dynamic driver inside is quite large at 14.2mm. No need to buy an external amp for these, by the way, they'll run on pretty much anything. I just like to try these kinds of things through multiple sources. The FF1 are pretty uncomfortable. Yeah, there's no getting around that. They come with changeable covers to go on the head, which I honestly can't get on there. I mean, I was there for maybe 15 minutes just trying and I gave up. Good luck to anyone getting them on there. These in theory dampen the harsh plastic fit and should be more comfortable, but I wouldn't know because I couldn't get them on there. I could listen to the FF1 in their standard form for around 1 to 2 hours before I just had to take them out. They were quite sore after that. I imagine the more you wear them, the more you get used to them, and this would be a non-issue for those who manage to get the sort of foam covers on as well. But after around 10 hours of total listening, I'm getting the soreness still, and I'm just not happy listening to these for much longer. Though audio-wise, they sound alright, honestly. I wasn't expecting much. They don't have that low down punch or intricate detail retrieval of like a true IEM, because they kind of sit on the periphery of your ear, sort of slightly in your ear, versus an IEM that is fully in your ear. But for casual listening, I actually really enjoyed the sound. There's a decent amount of bass given the crazy loose seal. There's decent dynamics in the higher frequencies, and they overall sound like they just don't have the dynamic range of the bigger IEMs. They don't go as high or as low as a normal pair, but as long as you don't go into it expecting amazing amounts of dynamic range, I didn't mind them at all actually. Great for turning that dial down and just chilling out. John Bellion, AJR, Fox Stevenson all sounded really chill with these. Even migrating to Broken Benjamin and more metal and rock music sounded decent. The FF1 just lacks that deep punch that most hip hop tends to lean on, and so for that genre, I wouldn't recommend the Fiio FF1. Timbre is pretty natural and the whole sound signature is very neutral, which means you can listen to these without any kind of audio fatigue at all. I mean, even sibilant, sensitive listeners don't need to worry about the FF1. It is a very natural sound. I tried gaming with these and I'm not sure that's what these are made for. Competitive shooters are a write-off due to the entire lack of detail in the concentration elements. The soundstage and imaging are pretty decent, don't get me wrong. I think these work great from that kind of perspective, but then you chuck in any more kind of immersive single player games, Battlefield, sim races, single player games, story stuff, and the lack of impact low down really does detract from the immersion and the experience. They're definitely usable for gaming, but they wouldn't be my first choice, put it that way. And that pretty much sums up my experience with the Fiio FF1. These are not my first choice because I'm not the target market for them. I don't like the traditional shape, but to be fair, I know plenty of people who will only wear this style of earphone and won't go for an IEM because they don't like something being so deep in their ear. And I think that given the sheer amount of stuff you get in the box, you know, the USB-C adapter, the mic enabled cable, and a pair of earphones obviously that don't suck, at 25 quid is pretty reasonable. If you want something that sounds, looks and feels better, not to mention is cheaper and comes with a case, just get the Moondrop 2. They are cheaper than these and are absolutely clear in my opinion, but if you do want a fixed tip, these are on my recommendations list actually, the Fiio FF1. And I'm more than willing to try something like this again, even if I'm not the target market. Do you like fixed tip earphones? Let me know in the comments. Is there a reason why? Do you prefer the sound? Do you prefer the feel? Do you not like something penetrating deep into your ear? Let me know in the comments. I'm intrigued to hear people's opinions on these because this is really far from what I'd usually wear. Thanks to Fiio for sending them out for me to check out, and thanks to you for watching as well. A big thanks to my members for being continually supportive, and I'll leave the links and details in the description. Hit like and subscribe. I've been Ryan Thomas and I'll catch you later. Cheers.